Yeah, it's a good conversation to have every year, especially as we see the temperatures we are expecting in the coming days.
Jason, first of all, we'll talk about the heat, but I think everybody wants to talk about, I'm telling you what you're talking about.
How kind of you.
Did I see an eye roll there? But really this haze, the smoke from the wildfires,
yes,
is what everybody's talking about.
That is the theme of our weather story, at least for today. Laura, Matt, and Isabel. So many people are talking about what is this thing hanging in the sky and why are we dealing with it and how long is it going to be sticking around? And you can see at the bottom right of your screen right now, that is that haze emblem all across Northeast Ohio, with 85 million Americans dealing with poor air quality. That is a high number. There is nearly a third of Americans dealing with air quality issues, all because of the wildfire smoke back up in northern Canada. We have a due north wind coming into our area, and even looking at the Buckeye State, Indiana, Illinois, getting over to Wisconsin and also Michigan, we are at the very least in an unhealthy for sensitive groups. Many locations are dealing with very unhealthy levels, such as we are dealing with here in Northeast Ohio, as well as over in Indiana. This is the wildfire zone right now. Look at that north wind pooling all the way down through the Keystone State, upstate New York, and certainly moving on into Northeast Ohio and the Buckeye State as a whole. This north wind will prevail through the evening and be allowed to aspire as we switch over to a more south wind. That south wind will aid in a bit in improving visibility issues for us, as well as change in our temperatures. And we'll talk about that. Widespread visibility issues, all because of the haze and the smoke across the area right now, below a mile in several locations and hanging out around a mile, mile and a quarter, and mile and a half for other locations. Ashtabula pretty much is the only area right now that's dealing with at least above a 5-mile visibility. Through the duration of the evening, temperatures will also hang out in the mid to upper 60s and low 70s. Because of that blanketing of smoke and also the fog areas, we'll be dealing with that for the rest of the evening. So we'll keep our temperatures fairly warm overnight, as well as mixing in some of that haze and smog conditions that Betsy was talking about at the top of the show. North winds at 5, and then we exchange that for a south wind moving in tomorrow. So we're going to move overhead here roughly the next 24 hours. I call it Jason's little smokestack. So even though we'll have mid and upper levels still dealing with some of that smog issue, our south wind here at the surface will likely kick that energy back up towards the north and outside of our region, which is why I believe National Weather Service is keeping that air quality warning in effect through about midnight. We'll see what they do once we get into the evening and overnight hours. They may carry it over through the first half of our Thursday. But what could also work in tandem with our improving conditions will be some rain chances. That starts to uptick once we get into Friday and Saturday, and certainly by Sunday of this upcoming week. So in short, here's your National Design Mart forecast. Again, remaining mild overnight tonight. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds moving through the area tomorrow. I think mid and upper levels, maybe again a couple pop-up showers or two, but that'll likely remain below 20%. Once we get into Friday, warming conditions, even at 7 a.m., nearly 70 degrees. We go back into the mid to upper 80s. We start off with some unsettled weather. And of course, you mean when south winds come on in, they cannot stick around. We're going to have a frontal boundary arriving, and that'll move in just in time for the holiday weekend. We'll talk a bit much more about that and what we're expecting on Monday and Tuesday for the holiday. Here's your Uniform Mortgage 7-Day outlook. Again, very warm to the end of the week. Friday and Saturday, humidity conditions will certainly be spiking across the region, but storms will be likely both Saturday and also Sunday. Leaning over into Monday, we start to dry things out just a little bit, and I think we'll likely have a mainly dry 4th of July, but we won't hold our breath, at least at this point. That's still about 6 days away.
Okay, fine. We were getting our hopes up.
I know.
But we appreciate the honesty and
keeping it
keeping us
real.
real.
That's
Exactly.
right.
That's what he does. Jace, thanks.
You're welcome.